Hello everyone. Today, I will recap the movie Kung Fu Panda 3. I believe this is the best and most significant installment in the Kung Fu Panda series. In this movie, Pa faces off against Lord Kai, who is the most powerful figure in the spirit realm. Will Panda be able to defeat Lord Kai? Let's find out in this recap. In the spirit realm, Oogway was meditating when a peach blossom petal interrupted his mood. Oogway just blew it away, and then it stuck to his nose, and he still hasn't calmed down yet. Seconds later, a knife had already been slashed straight down on him. Oogway easily used his hand to catch it. Then another one fell on him. The flying knife made them collide with each other. Opposite, a guy immediately appeared. It was Kai, Oogway's archenemy. Kai dived straight down, throwing the knife, cutting the roof into pieces and breaking the rock Oogway was standing on. Oogway flies high and uses magical attacks to restrain him. But Kai is no longer the same person he was yesterday. He had taken all the energy of the other masters and become much stronger. Master Oogway drew an octagonal circle in the air again, while Kai threw two blades at the rock, then pulled the chain, jumped up, and threw it towards Oogway. They broke his circle, and the chains took the opportunity to bind Oogway. Kai said he would take the energy of Oogway. Oogway said to stop and said that it was never his fate. He let someone else go that way. He then turns Oogway into Jade Amulet. Kai then states that he will also destroy Pa. At dawn, Pa hyperactive exhaust ran around Jade Palace with his brothers and sisters. He stepped on a tree branch and cut off the head of the rhinoceros cloud. Then he rushed to the ground, struck a cool pose, and ordered 2 bowls of soup noodles and 1 bowl of dry noodles. After eating his fill, he continued to interact with fans, burning the crowd's hands. Then Pa returned to the Jade Palace. He said that in a fight, the most important thing is demeanor. Then kicked. Shifu appeared. He agreed with Pa. After saying that, Shifu flew inside. The geese immediately lit up the dojo. Shifu said this was the last class, making Pa scream, "Damn it! Why did you skip class, boss?" He thought the Shifu was about to die. From today on, Shifu would officially hand over this dojo to Pa to teach. He was still naive until he understood and suddenly shouted, making the Shifu step back. While all the brothers were better than him, Shifu explained that it was because Pa was Pa, the real master of the secret martial art. As soon as he turned around, Shifu ran away. Pa started teaching Furious 5 group, but in the past, he only knew how to eat and drink. He had never taught anyone before, so the first time he did it, he was a bit confused. The end result was that the Furious 5 group was beaten to a pulp, each person dragging their exhausted bodies out. They asked the students if they realized anything. Pa realized that Tigress was too easy to catch fire, but staggered back to his room. And on the way, he heard 3 geese talking about him. Not only that, they also bluntly criticized him for being fat. He was like a pig. He went in front of the statue of the great master Oogway and said the apology. Just finished saying the sentence, and turned back. He had just finished speaking when he turned around and was startled to see the master. Today's training session was really frightening. "Master," he admitted. The master replied that he was already aware of this because the entire village had been gossiping about it. He knew that the student could not teach, but what he wanted was a challenge for him. He asked Pa that what Dragon Warrior was, but he did answer, "Because I am a god. I do not want to go here and there, just punching and kicking to protect the villagers." The master with dark eyes said, "Stop those childish games, son. Stop punching and kicking." Is that all? Oogway's choice of Pa was even greater. Ultimate power awaited him. Power beyond anyone's imagination. As soon as he finished speaking, Shifu immediately performed a few divine power moves, causing a withered flower to bloom again. Pa immediately opened his mouth wide in surprise. "How great is that?" the master said. "This is the energy flowing in all living creatures." Oogway meditated for 30 years to understand, but just heard it and rolled over, and said that eating and sleeping for 30 years is fine, but sitting in a cave, Pa won't accept it. Pa still don't understand anything. Pa leave to go home. At a nearby village where 2 brothers were farming, below appeared a bright halo. The 2 men moved closer to see the black bull demon. The 2 brothers scared and ran away. But still, Kai threw a knife to stop him. Coming to ask, Where is this? This made the duck tremble in fear. Using a basket of eggs, Rabbit answered. Just the world. My brother Buffalo shouted. So this is the human world. Kai has returned. Who has never heard of this? After a while explaining his identity that no one understood, Kai was helpless with the two rustic farmers. Kai had to say he had defeated Oogway. And it turned out they knew and praised the master Oogway. That made Kai was jealous and angry. He then shouted, and then released the jade zombies to capture Oogway's disciples for him. Meanwhile, Pooh was happily bathing and playing with dolls when Mr. Ping passed by and noticed that his son was sad, absorbed in answering the duck, but mistakenly played with chili powder instead of bath salts. Hearing that his son was appointed as a teacher, the duck father was extremely happy because he would soon be able to expand his business. Suddenly, the pig announced that someone had broken Poe's record for eating dumplings. He hurriedly ran out to see who had such great courage. Standing in the middle of the crowd was a large figure on a table full of dishes. When he turned back, his mouth was still full of dumplings, looking extremely adorable. Po asked, "Who are you?" The mysterious man replied, "I am Li Shan and I am looking for my son." "Oh my gosh! What are you talking about?" Po said, "You lost your child. Why did you also lose your father?" They questioned. After that, they looked at each other and decided to quickly find each other's lost father and child. Then, the two turned their backs and left, making the villagers feel angry inside. Both of them suddenly remembered, "Oh my gosh, this is my child." The duck father saw this scene and was probably happy. Li Shan and hugged the duck father, thanking him for raising Po. The duck father acted upset because he was worried that Li Shan was a scammer, but the two quickly became close and hugged each other to take pictures. Mr. Ping was not willing to give up and also joined in to take pictures with Li Shan. Li Shan mentioned that they had a whole panda village in the deep mountains. Po happily asked why Li Shan was looking for Po. The father bear said that he had a feeling he wanted to find him. The duck father smelled trouble as soon as he heard it. The father bear then asked his son what a dragon warrior was. The little one replied it was him, and Po took his father to visit Jade Palace, making the duck father feel very sorry for himself. They climbed for a while before they both reached the top. Li Shan tired and out of breath, as he followed their son into the main hall where the exhibits were displayed. The father was cautioned to be careful, because the furniture here was extremely fragile and easy to break. As soon as he finished speaking, he turned around and saw his father wearing the rhinoceros armor. He was startled and exclaimed, "I swear, Dad is so cool." Li Shan pulled the rope, causing the armor to grow spikes on its eyes, sparkling and shining. "I almost had a heart attack." After that, the father and son started flying around in the palace, making the palace look more dilapidated than a warehouse. While the two were playing the game of whale and rhinoceros gladiator, they were startled to see familiar faces. He quickly took off all his clothes, but the bear father was as innocent as a fairy, and kept hitting his son to challenge him until he realized he was too embarrassed. He then to throw the hammer and break something behind him. As soon as he opened his hat, everyone realized it was his father. He greeted and shook hands with everyone when suddenly news broke that the valley was attacked. She followed Furious 5 group to destroy evil, while the 5 group fought enthusiastically with jade zombies, but crashed down onto the roof like a god. Everyone was surprised for 2 seconds before they continued fighting fiercely, but were unable to defeat them. After fighting until their arms were tired, they suddenly realized that the enemy was the legendary master, the master porcupine who had died before. At that time, Po flew in to control the porcupine and asked Little Pig to help him draw a picture of the aggressive porcupine, which immediately punched in the face. Then, he flew in to strangle the neck of Po, but the bear didn't feel any pain and was extremely happy when someone slapped his neck. Luckily, Master Sherfu came and knocked Porcupine's head, advising Po to concentrate. Below, the duck father was furious because he was about to lose his son. Then Po fell down, and he quickly lent his son the spoon. Po attacked the jade zombies until the spoon broken. Li Shan saw them cut off the head of Po's portrait. His heart skipped a beat. Po stuffed the dumpling into his mouth, causing him to shoot it straight at his enemies like a gun. Before pressing them, the masters were then controlled. A perverted laugh was heard as they realized that the masters had been possessed. The intruder declared he would soon suck out everyone's energy and called himself Kai. However, no one had heard of him. So he collected his spirit and met again soon. Shifu and his disciples decide about the sutra for looking for. The search later found a book of jade. After a while, they found a jade book, but there was nothing inside. Oh! It turned out that it had not been opened completely. Inside, there was indeed Kai's private writing. It revealed that Kai and Oogway were close friends, although everyone was busy doing their own thing. One day, the turtle was seriously injured. Kai carried the turtle everywhere to treat him. Eventually, they went to the panda village, where the people used a secret qigong to treat the turtle. They taught the turtle how to practice and how to give away qi, the opposite of Oogway. Kai realized that power could be given and also taken from others. The turtle master stood up to stop him, and the two fought for 7 days and 7 nights. In the end, Kai was banished to the spirit realm by the turtle master, who left a message that if one day he returned to the mortal world, only someone who was proficient in qi could stop him. However, this was too difficult. Even Shifu said he could only make the flower bloom, and that it would take at least 30 years to master this technique. The father bear suddenly stopped and said, "I am a master of qi." He agreed to teach his child, but they had to return to the panda village so Pa could explore the life of her species. Thus, Pa went with her father. Shifu assigned Crane to investigate Kai's whereabouts. Mantis was also sent out. The bear father and son then traveled a very long distance, and when they stopped for lunch, Pa discovered the duck father hiding in her basket. The duck father said he was afraid Pa would not be used to the food, so he followed Pa to be a chef. After a while of discussion, Li Shan agreed to let the duck father follow. After overcoming 81 hardships, all three arrived in a frozen waterfall. Daddy Duck said Pa hates escalators, so let's go back. But unexpectedly, Li Shan had an automatic ladder in front of Pa, leading to a beautiful place like a fairyland, with hills and streams flowing. People lived together peacefully, and there were many lovely little pandas. They recognized Uncle Li Shan when he returned, so they went out to welcome him. The two fat bear brothers surrounded Pa, giving Pa a string of dumplings. However, they swarmed to eat it all. The uncle hugged Pa tightly because of passion, but didn't know who Pa was. A little girl asked to take the tiger statue, and he was very sorry, but still agreed. He realized that everyone was very much like him, except for one guy with slightly bad teeth. Then everyone had a welcoming party. Li Shan said that they didn't need to go, and everyone rolled down the slope. The duck father was laughing when he saw that his son was also rolling. After all, it was his first time, and he was still very confused after a few dozen times of hitting his head. He almost lost his will but eventually reached the dining table. A curious boy asked the duck father, "Why is your mouth so long?" The duck father took out a pair of chopsticks and gave them to Pa. The panda villagers look at Pa like he's an alien. Pa also realized that he could eat more without using chopsticks. At this time, the hot girl of the village appeared and immediately flirted with Pa. She threw flirtatious words that made his heart flutter. She danced with Silk and pulled Pa out, making him spin around. She forced Pa to give flower hand and kiss her hand. Pa asked for help from the two fathers, but no one helped him. She gave him the rope to dance, and Pa wrapped his own legs around and fell on his face himself. The girl gently lifted him up. Meanwhile, Crane and the mantis brother flew to the desert and saw the three masters who were going to demand justice from Kai. Crane advises Mantis not to act rashly, but Mantis sees the injustice and rushes to help. However, the ending was extremely bitter. Crane could only run in to save Mantis. Suddenly, Kai appeared behind Crane. He was about to run away, but he was not just kicked. Kai realized that Crane's energy was very strong, so he used Mantis Jade to provoke him. When Crane was off guard, he was flicked into the wall. Crane quickly kicked the box into Kai's face and ran away, but he was pulled back with a chain. The next morning, Pa woke up early to find Li Shan. But Li Shan again said that successful people must have their own specific path and should sleep until they are ready. Pa rushed back to the bedroom and sleep like Pa was dead. When he woke up, the sun was past noon. Pa went out with the kids to play shuttlecock, kicked it, and hit the neighbor. Then Pa learned to roll, hit a tree, stuck to the cliff, and finally fell on his father. Another group liked to use bamboo to jump. But Pa also learned and landed butt first on the panda's face. The duck father couldn't find his son, so he returned to the kitchen only to find the kids had ruined all his cooking. He hugged one child to avoid the knife rain, but was wrapped in noodles and dragged around in circles. They even pulled his hat, sending him flying into the pillar. Finally, revealing an innocent and naive expression, the duck father remembered Pa as a child. Pa almost vomited to death. He also rolled over and hit the dancer. Then both were hugged tightly by Li Shan. They rolled down the slope. Pa turned into a large ball, knocking one person into the lake. He posed as if he was on vacation, and the whole village jumped in to bathe together. In the afternoon, the father and son looked at the village from above together. He thanked his father for showing him what it was like to live the life of a panda, then asked Li Shan when he would teach him Qigong. Li Shan promised Pa would learn soon and led Pa to a corner of the room, where he left the photo of his mother and son. He asked Li Shan what kind of person she was. Pa was a beautiful woman who ate so much. Li Shan was sad when he remembered the past. Pa said Pa would always be by his father's side and hug him deeply. While they were being affectionate, another bear came out of nowhere and hugged them, almost suffocating the father and son. Meanwhile, at the Jade Palace, letters arrive revealing that the masters have been stripped of their Qigong. Shifu immediately orders his disciples to evacuate the villagers below. The snake is overjoyed to see Crane and Mantis return. But when it land, it is the Jade zombies. Kai blocks their path. He begins to dance with knives, declaring that Oogway has betrayed him and that he will destroy everything Oogway has created. All three brothers took turns jumping up to attack him, but Kai was too strong for them. Tigress kicked him from above, making him retreat. Seeing this, Kai controlled Crane to attack her. Mantis broke the blade and flew towards the snake. Shifu must fight Kai directly. The monkey catches the mantis. He was beaten up without being finished. They are being controlled to beat the brothers. Shifu avoided his flying knives, flew up, and ran on the chain, determined to land the killing blow. But when he saw the turtle's aura on Kai's neck, he was distracted and was blown away. Kai sucked Qigong of the monkey and the snake's sister, wearing a rattle on her hip. Tigress tries to move forward but is stopped by Shifu, who wants Tigress to warn Pa. Kai again blew away both master and student, using the chain to wrap around the turtle statue and pulling it down. The statue collapsed and was swept inside, destroying the Jade Palace. Finally, he threw it down the steps. Shifu saw it and shouted in despair, "What the hell are you doing?" Kai didn't say anything and immediately sucked all of his Qigong. Tigress was speechless and took the scroll, running away. At the panda village, Pa was happy to live with her own kind. The two fathers were sitting and playing chess with each other. When he stepped onto the bridge, he saw a withered flower and tried to use his energy. He waved his hands, and it looked very strange. While concentrating, he saw Tigress crawling up from below. She said that everyone had been caught by Kai and sucked all Qigong, and now Kai was on his way here. Li Shan heard that and immediately bravely evacuated the villagers. He ran to tell his father to teach him Qigong, but he said it was not the right time. He chased after him to convince his father. Finally, Li Shan had to confess that martial arts had been lost for a long time. He only lied to protect her from danger. He was very disappointed in his father and then left. Seeing everyone panic, he became even more determined to defeat Kai. Ducky Dad ran over to advise him to run away, but he said he would stay and fight. He then cut bamboo to make a Kai figure, but practiced day and night. Looking full of will and determination, Ducky Dad brought a basket of dumplings to Li Shan. He said that Pa would never forgive him. But Ducky Dad took a picture of the three of them and placed it next to the picture of Pa and his mother, saying that the son really needed both of these fathers. Outside, Pa fought until his belly fat melted. Tigress knew this much was nothing to Kai. He also had a whole jade army. Pa is stubborn with her. He said he would use one young finger with him. But Tiger's sister said only the Qigong master could win against Kai right now. He was absolutely screaming out loud, "I don't even know who I am anymore. What to say?" Suddenly Lai Sun appeared said, "You will have your own army." It turns out everyone's come back. They told Pa to teach Kung Fu the whole village. Li Shan said to make everyone look like Pa. This made him suddenly awaken. "Just be yourself, and you will learn Kung Fu." Pa started teaching with people's forte. The children kicked the shuttlecock, The adults rolled. The uncle had an undying passion for hugging. He let him tighten the pull. The dancer danced with the rope. Meanwhile, the little girl kept following the tiger's sister. Gradually, Pa brought in larger logs. He then gave the firecrackers to the children. The dancer initially received a few sticks, and at first waved them at other people's foreheads. Finally, everyone finished practicing and made a battle plan, using biscuits and dumplings to illustrate. But the children ate them all. They even nibbled on the noodles. And the tree branch pointing at the map was also swallowed. In the end, Pa had to tell everyone to focus on distracting Kai. He would get close to him and use the best shot. After the whole village dispersed, Pa opened the photo book again, and Li Shan next to him saw a photo of his clansman transmitting energy to the turtle. Then, he felt sad that he couldn't help his son. There was a noise below. It was Kai. He stood in front of the waterfall, using his knife as a lever to jump up the cliff. Pa stood in the village and said provocative words, telling Kai all of his nicknames, which amused him. Then Pa said that he was just a gossip. Tie and throws all the jade zombies into the village. Pa lures them into running inside. Tai controls the crane to attack Pa, but he orders the flying team to hit him and digs his beak into the ground. Kai releases the crocodile to attack Pa. Pa continues to order the rolling team, knocking a group to the ground while he slides down with the pan. Halfway, the fat guy jumps up and hugs the monkey. The dancer hits the badger with his stick without missing a beat. The tiger fights the crocodile. The kid also runs after her, causing her to fight back and block. The bear zombies chase Pa, but halfway, the little bears shoot fireworks. Finally, Kai uses his zombie Sherfu to chase Pa. Pa can't attack his teacher, so Pa keeps running. Luckily, the two fathers block him with the pan, and they rush outside together. Pa climbs to the roof and sees Kai going crazy from having to deal with everyone. Pa slides down and rolls into a large ball of ice. Then he stabbed Kai and grabbed his hand. But when Pa activated his energy, it had no effect. Kai also pretended to be injured, and said that this move could only be used on living people. He collected all the jade zombies, and then knocked Pa onto the ice rink. Both of them slid on it. Pa couldn't even stand. Kai grabbed Pa and threw him into the sky. Then he kicked Pa away. Pa knew he couldn't fight him, and told everyone to run away immediately before things got worse. But Kai had already caught up. He showed up the Jade Ugwe, then mocked him. Then he used the flying dagger to show off his power, watching everyone tremble in fear. Pa suddenly thought that he couldn't send the dead back to the spirit realm, but the living could. He stood up and said, "There's a pig flying in the sky." Kai looked up at the sky innocently and was hit in the neck by Pa. He used magic on himself, successfully sending both of them back to the spirit world. Seeing his son disappear into the peach blossoms, the two fathers were extremely sad. The tiger said that Pa sacrificed himself to save everyone, while the duck father lamented, "Then who will save my son?" At this time, Pa had entered the spirit realm, still riding on Kai's head. Kai was angry, kicked him away, and threw a knife. Fortunately, Pa avoided it, but Kai pulled the entire mountain to hit Po's face, sending him flying a few meters before using a chain to pull him back. Kai began to suck in Po's energy. Outside, watching the peach blossoms fall on Li Shan and realizing the bad omen, he told the villagers to gather in a circle. Then, he remembered the action in the drawing, held out his hand, and suddenly the tiger's sister, the duck father, and everyone followed suit. His hand lit up, and on Po's jade body, it emitted light. Then, many more hands appeared, Pa threw a punch, breaking the chain and sending Kai a few meters away. Pa saw himself wearing a golden outfit and a cool conical hat. He also realized that he was everything. Pa said, "I am a dragon warrior." But the seriousness didn't last long. He yelled again because he looked so cool. Kai chased Pa and threw the knife, but the dragon opened its mouth and grabbed the blade, making Kai spin around. Then the dragon lifted its belly and shook its butt, sending him flying far away, and the dragon eating his blade. Kai was so angry that he charged forward, but the dragon flew over him, but tied his legs and dragged him all over the place, hitting the rocks. Kai still dreamed of revenge, but didn't give him the chance. As Kai rushed towards him, but brandished the dragon and gave all his energy to him. At first, he was happy, but then he couldn't bear it anymore. The jade statues began to fall off, while Kai gradually disappeared, following the cherry blossom whirlwind. The jade statues flew back to the world of the living, and the curse was lifted. Only the mantis still doubted whether he had returned to normal because he was still green, then was caught by the child. But after waiting for a long time, everyone still didn't see Pa return. Inside, Pa finds himself floating alongside Oogway and lands in a breathtaking golden realm. The wise turtle gently nudges Pa into a boat, revealing that it was he who had sent the signal to Pa. The two of them sit beneath a tree, where Oogway reminisces about the day they first met. He foresaw the future and the past of Kung Fu, realizing that only a panda could balance both yin and yang, making Pa fit to be a successor. Oogway then presents Pa with his staff. Initially, Pa declines politely, but upon holding it, he accepts the responsibility. Oogway ascends with the peach blossoms. Pa cries out, "Don't go." But this is Oogway's realm, and the one destined to leave is Pa. Pa then draws a golden octagon that radiates everywhere, immersing himself in the moment of being a hero. Suddenly, he finds himself falling to the ground. The crowd rushes over, with two men embracing their sons, and the villagers rallying around him. Shifu is surprised to see the Turtle Master's staff in Po's possession and learns that it was gifted to Pa. Shifu feels a pang of sadness, but quickly urges Pa to teach him Qigong. The entire village then beats the drums and begins practicing martial arts under Po's guidance. The children play shuttlecock, while Mantis struggles to escape a girl's grasp with the help of his tiger sister. A stick from a dancer accidentally strikes the teeth of the village's least handsome boy, bringing them together. The duck father finally fulfills his dream of opening another noodle shop there. Li Shan also gives his best, but after 3 seconds of practice, he suffers an asthma attack. Finally, Master Shifu arrives, and Pa begins teaching everyone the ultimate Qigong technique. They all follow his lead, and golden light spreads across the hills, reviving the withered flowers. With Pa having achieved unrivaled power, one wonders if there are any more challenges left for him. In this third act, it's not just about Po's skill in martial arts or his battles between good and evil. It's also about his quest to find his family and understand his identity as a panda. He is truly fortunate to have two fathers who love him unconditionally, caring for him daily and standing by his side through any challenge.